let's start with the discussion of these types of network devices, right? Let me just open this. So inside these types of network devices, which is we have types of, we are going to consider this as a network, right? Network devices. So we have router, we have switch, we have hub, right? We have bridge, we have repeater, right? So these are the devices that we have. Now, let's talk about the first devices, which is we have the hub. So what is the hub? Basically, it is a dumb device. Why this is the dumb device? Because of it do not have, it doesn't have memory to store MAC address. MAC address, right? And basically, see, if we talk about this function of this hub, so what is the main use or what is the main purpose why we were using the hub? What is, first of all, what is this MAC address and why it is not going to store? The MAC is a physical address, is a physical address which cannot be changed, which can't be changed, right? Every PC having their own MAC address or every device have their own MAC address, and that MAC address cannot change that, right? We cannot change that MAC address. Now, if we talk about inside this hub, now we have, see, the devices will be work on the two of the basis, which is the IP address and the MAC address. Now, what is this IP address? We just we covered this MAC address. So, what is this IP address? So, Internet Protocol address is a logical address. Is a logical address, and it can be changed. It can be changed according to the requirement. Right, according to the requirement. So basically, this is all about the IP address and the MAC address. Basically, these are the two of the things that is related to all of the devices, which is comes inside this type of network devices, right? Now, if we talk about the capability of the hub, so the capability of hub is always broadcast and whatever the packet it will get it, each and every packet it will send to all of the ports. As we discussed inside this scenario, that is the hub, right? So over there we have lots of ports over there, which is the four ports which is we have. So each port having suppose that there or the one of the PC is connected with one of the ports, right? So once any one PC is going to forward any information such as video information or image information, so that is received on that port and basically it will receive on that hub, right? So what is the hub will do? Hub will always broadcast that packet. Means this hub will send this information to the all over the ports, right? Suppose that, let me describe that. This is your hub, right? This is your hub and it have the four PCs just like that. Okay, so this PC is going to forward any packet which is the image file. Suppose that this is the image file that is going to forward via this PC and this PC will send this to the hub, right? Because of that PC have the physical IP address and the physical MAC address. The one of the address which is it have, suppose that this PC having the MAC address of the 0A, right? Suppose that. And that is also have the IP address to communicate in their network because of the IP address is the one of the address to responsible to make communication in the local network, right? So this will send this packet to the hub. Now, what is the main function of the hub, which is it do not have any memory to store MAC address. So whatever the MAC address, it is going to send it. This hub will read it, right? I'm not saying that this hub is not going to read the MAC address. I'm saying that this hub is not going to store that MAC address in their memory because of they do not have memory, right? So definitely they will not. This hub is not going to store the MAC address or the IP address because of this hub is do not have memory, right? So this will read the MAC address and this will forward the packets to all over the port. Suppose that it is going to forward it on the all over the port, right? So just like that, it is the every PC is receiving the MAC address. Now, sorry, the every PC is receiving the this image file, right? But this PC is only want to send this image file for this PC, right? So these are the PC will give the reply that I didn't request for this image file. Who did that? This PC did that request for the image file. So every PC will give the acknowledgement of that, but this will only store, this will only accept which is which is the requested PC, right? So that is the main function of this hub and how this hub will work, right? Now let's talk about the new thing which is we have. Let me just erase it. Now I have a one question for that regarding hub. That then why we use hub? Then why we use hub? Because of it is not storing any MAC address. It is not storing any. It do not have any memory, right? So in future, if I want to send any data, so always we have to send with our MAC address, right? And see, this hub is basically is not compatible device, right? This hub is not the compatible device because of whatever the packet it is getting, this is forwarded over on all the ports. So suppose that the one of the hacker is comes inside that and Suppose that this hacker will come inside that, and this PC is sending the image file which is requested by this PC, right? This PC will send this image file to this PC, but this hub will what this hub will do? This hub will forward this information to all over the ports, right? Over even on this port as well, uh, which is the hacker port, right? So the hacker is also going to receive this kind of information, and this hacker will block your network, right? This hacker will block your network, the whole network will go down, right? So now, what this is the this is basically this is the issue of the hub, right? Means what was the issue? Always broadcast. Let me just describe that. It always broadcasts, which is the first point. The second point, which is this one, is the first point, right? Now, the second point, which is do not have memory, right? We have lots of points to discuss over there, just like consuming bandwidth. You can also add one more point over there, which is so what is the use of this? What is the mean of this consuming bandwidth? See, what is the mean of this? Basically, this PC is sending this image file just only for that PC, but these are also receiving, right? And these are also receiving, and these are also going to forward, going to give the reply for that packet. Means the somewhere this the bandwidth is going to utilize, right? Suppose that I have the 100 Mbps of the speed, but this is sending the data of the 50 Mbps. Everyone is sending the data of the 50 Mbps. So once it will reach on the limitation of this, so this is going to slow down your network, right? So everyone sending the reply and everyone receiving that, and at a time everyone sending the reply, just broadcast, broadcast, broadcast. So this is just consuming the bandwidth. You can also say that over there, right? Now, so one more part also you can add over there, which is the fourth point, which is always work on half duplex. Work on half always work on half duplex, right? Just write it down these things, and these are the information regarding the hub. Now, to solve this problem of this network, to solve this kind of problem, we have now bridge, right? So how the bridge will be work and what is the main feature of the bridge, we will also talk about that. Just write it down these one first of all, and just just let me know after that, right? So let's talk about this bridge. What is this bridge and how it will work basically? Let me just describe that. So the bridge is this is the layer 2 device. It's a layer 2 device, right? So it can store It can store the MAC address. See, if we talk about the hub, so the hub was not able to store the MAC address because of it do not have memory. Now it have memory, right? But it have only two ports to communicate in network. Communicate in network, right? Now, what is the like how it will work? Let me just describe that thing. The bridge is suppose that this is my tunnel, right? So let me just make this scenario. This is my tunnel, and that has the only one railway track inside that tunnel, right? See, I'm talking about just like because of the bridge have the only two ports, right? So the about this we are going to take these two ports over there, right? Just let me just make the scenario, right? Now we have the two paths outside of the tunnel, right? So basically we have the only one railway track inside the tunnel, and we have suppose that these are the trains which is coming over there, right? Now just let me just describe that first. See, these are the trains which is we have over there, and this train only can pass at a time. Means once this train will come inside this tunnel, so once it will come just come outside the tunnel, then the other train will come inside that, right? Just like that. If this train is wants to enter inside this tunnel, so this train have to wait to pass this train, right? Because of if this train is also coming inside the tunnel, and this train is also inside the coming inside this train is also coming inside the tunnel, so over there they are collide, right? They will collide, right? So once at a time, you can also add one more point over there. One at a time, you can send only one data. Now, once you will get the acknowledgement of that data, I'm going to represent as a ACK of the acknowledgement, right? Once you will get the acknowledgement of the data, then you can send another one, right? So you have to wait to receive the acknowledgement that okay, so my train is just enter inside the tunnel, and it is comes out from the tunnel. Then we have to make sure that my train is now outside of the tunnel. Then we can send any of the data, or you can say any of the trains inside the tunnel, right? So we have to wait to receive the data towards the destination, then we can send the another data. So that is the That is the main use of this bridge. Now, what was the drawback? The drawback is this one, right? You can write it down this one. Okay. So this was the issue of this bridge, right? It has the memory, it can store also the MAC address, but you can only send only one data at a time, right? So these all about the repeater, right? Sorry, the bridge, right? Now we have the switch. So how the switch will work and basically what is the main feature of that, we will also talk about. Guys, did you understand this scenario, or should I just take the just devices like that and explain it? If you want it, so I can do that. Let me just explain though. So suppose that this is your bridge, right? And here you have the lots of PCs over there. Right? Now you can send only this data. Suppose that you are going to send this video file towards this PC, right? So once this video file will receive over on that PC, then this PC have to give the acknowledgement of that. Basically, this is the unicast, right? It send their data as unicast, right? They send their data as unicast. So basically, once this another PC will receive the data, then this PC have to give the acknowledgement of that video file, right? So once it will receive that acknowledgement, then the others can send the data, right? If you send the data only one at a time, see, this is the only one path that you have over there, right? This is the only one path that you have over there, and you are going to send this data. You are going to use only this path, right? Because of you have the only one path to reach inside your domain, right? So these are the main feature of that bridge. To avoiding this feature and to upgrade the device, to upgrade the network enhancement and workload, now we have the switch, right? So how the switch will work, we will also talk about that. Just write it down these first of all, and just don't forget to make this scenario, because of this is the very easiest way to understand all of this, right? Just write it down these things, then we will talk about this switch information, like how it will work and what is the switch, right? Okay, so let's talk about the switch, right? Let me just so what is the switch and how it will work? First of all, let me describe those things. So first, the first one, which is we are going to discuss about this capability of switch. Capability of the switch, right? So basically, we have two types of switch, which is layer 2 switch and layer 2 switch. We can also call it multi-layer switch, MLS, right? We also call this multi-layer switch. So first switch, which is we are going to talk about this layer 2 switch, right? Now, it have a capability to store MAC address. The capability to store MAC addresses. Second point, it works on half duplex as well as full duplex as well. And full duplex as well, right? So what is the mean of this half duplex and the full duplex, which is unicast and broadcast, right? This is for the unicast and this is for the broadcast. It's also the different meanings. We have also the lots of meanings regarding that. We will also talk about it later, right? So don't worry about that. Now, the third point, which is able to send unicast as well as broadcast. It is able to send packets as unicast and broadcast as well, right? It is able to send the unicast information and the broadcast information as well, right? Now, the we have one more options over there, which is it have lots of ports, right? The last one, which is we have, it is the combination of hub and bridge, right? Because of it is also going to send the packet as a unicast and a broadcast as well, right? So in the hub, the every packet this device is going to send as a broadcast, but the bridge is going to send the packet there as a unicast. So this is the combination of hub and the switch. Now we have lots of devices over there, which is we have lots of models over there. If we talk about the Cisco technology, so we have Cisco Catalyst, Cisco Catalyst 2950, 2960, 3750, and 3550. We have lots of range also over there, which is 4500 series or as well, which is we have. So these are the devices considered inside this layer 3 switch, right? Or you can also say that MLS. So what is the main difference in between the layer 3 switch and the layer 2 switch, which is we are going to talk about now, right? So the layer 2 switch is now layer 2, layer 3. So layer 2 switch can it can work on MAC address only, right? The layer 3 switch will work on it can work on IP address and MAC address as well, right? We have also the lots of things is also we have just like let me describe. Inside this layer 2, we can only use layer 2 protocols only, right? So we will also talk about that, what kind of protocols we have inside this layer 2 and what kind of protocols we have inside the layer 3, right? Now, if we talk about the layer 3 switch, so we can use layer 2 protocol and layer 3 protocols as well, right? If we talk about this layer 2 protocol and the layer 3 protocol, so the layer 2 protocol is considered the switching protocols only, right? The switching protocols only, and the MAC, you can also say that the MAC based protocol, right? The layer 2 protocol is, sorry, the layer 2, which is called MAC based protocol, right? The layer 3, if we talk about this IP based protocol. We will also talk about it later, right? Like what kind of things that we have related to the layer 2 protocols and the layer 3 protocols, right? Just make the notes first of all about this, right? And then we will talk about it, the next thing, right? Which is the router, right? Now just let's start this. These are all about the things related to the switch, right? So let's talk about the router. What is the router and what is the main function of the router? How it will work, right? So let's talk about that. So router is, it's a layer 3 device. It's a layer 3 device, right? Now, it's a device, it's a device which is used to connect, which is used to connect different network, different network on the basis of IP address.
Sir,
Let
screen
me
is
switch
not
off.
visible, sir.
Let me share it again. Now it is visible.
Ah, yes, sir.
Okay, so router, this is a basically layer 3 device. It's a device which is used to connect different network on the basis of IP address, right? Now we have one more point over there. This device is used to make best path from source to destination, right? It's a device to make the best path from source to destination. And it always select, you can also say that, it always select the best path. Now, what is the drawback of that which is we have? we cannot perform any switching protocol or the layer 2 protocol, right? We cannot perform this kind of protocol. So to solve this problem, we have the layer 3 switch, right? To solve this problem, we have now the layer 3 switch. So how the layer 3 switch will be work, we will also talk about that. Just write it down these things first of all, then we will talk about those things, right? Okay, let's talk about the layer 3 switch. What is this basically, and what is the use of that? Layer 3 switch. Every function is same like layer 2 switch, but it's also work like router as well, right? Now, the next thing which is we can configure layer 2 protocol and layer 3 protocol as well, right? So we can configure these two protocols at a time. See, why we need this layer 3 switch? Because of we have the router, we have the layer 2 switch, but over on the router we can only configure the layer 3 protocols only, right? And if we talk about the layer 2 switch, so we can only configure the layer 3 protocols, the layer 2 protocols only over on the layer 2 switch. Now, this layer 3 switch is, we can configure the layer 2 protocols and the layer 3 protocols as well, right? Means it will work on, it will work on broadcast and unicast as well. And that have also the multicast, right? So these are the things that we can also configure. Basically, these are the processes that these layer 3 switch can work on that, right? Means suppose that if we have an organization, and inside this organization we have the router, right? We have the layer 2 switch, and we have the layer 3 switch as well, right? So over on this layer 2 switch, we can only perform the layer 2 protocols only, right? But the layers over on this layer 3 switch, we can also perform the layer 2 protocols and the layer 3 protocols as well. Now, if we talk about this router, so we can only perform the layer 3 protocols only, right? So which one should be better? Like, if I'm going to purchase one of the device, so we have to purchase for this particular layer 3, we have to purchase the router, and if we are going to use for the layer 2 protocol, so we have to purchase the layer 2 switch, right? But why we are going to spend too much of money? Because of we need to configure the layer 3 protocols and the layer 2 protocols as well in any organization, right? This is the need of any organization. We have to do that, right? So the best way that why we should not go for the layer switch, we have to, right? Because of if we have the best path or we have the best device, so why I should suggest this device? Because of that have the capacity to configure all kind of layer 2 protocols and the layer 3 protocols, right? So why should I not prefer this? Always I have to, right? So that is the main things of this layer 3 switch. And we can also perform the stacking as well over on the switches. One more feature is we have feature of switch, which is we can bundle two devices with the help of stack cable. So now, what is this stack cable? See, let me decide. This is your organization, right? Means you have a very workload in your organization. So you are using the layer 3 switch and you have lots of layer 3 switch over there, right? Now, what is the need of that? Suppose that the my workload of this organization, which is we have 10 GB, right? Or more than 100 GB, you can also say that. But this layer 3 switch have the capability because of these are the devices, right? So they have the limited capabilities or limited storage that can store the limited of the data only, right? So suppose that this device has to store 20 GB only, right? Or the 60 GB only. So we need just like the four devices or more than four devices if we have the 20 GB, right? So what we need to do, we need to add we need to add too much devices over there. Now, if you are going to add the devices according to this requirement, so we have to add this 4 to 5 devices simultaneously, right? But what is the main use of this stack cable, which is we can add these devices, we can merge these devices into the one device. Suppose that just like that, we have one devices. This is your, you can also say that virtual device, right? With the help of this stack cable, these all the devices convert into the one virtual device, which is divided by the four parts, right? Layer 3, layer 3, layer 3, and layer 3. So devices convert into the one virtual device, which is called the stack device, right? You can also say that stack device. So this stack cable also have the speed, which is, I think, 32 Mbps, right? That have the speed, which is 32 MB per second. So this kind of data you can send with this help of this cable, right? Now these four devices merge into the one device. Now just convert this transfer speed of into the one transfer speed because of these are the combination of these four devices is now combined into the one device, right? So That is the use of this stackable, right? Okay, so this is all about these things. Now, the main thing is that just now the only one device which is we left, which is the repeater, right? So what is the use of this repeater and how it will work? We will talk about it. Just write it down these things. First of all, about this layer switch, we will back on that, right? Okay, now let's talk about the repeater, right? So basically how it will work and what are the main features we have regarding this, right? The repeaters, what is the use of this repeater? It is a network device. It's an network device operating at physical layer of the OSI model, of the OSI model that amplify or you can say that regenerate an incoming signal, incoming signal before transmitting it, right? Means in the simple word, we can say that they are incorporated in network to expand its coverage area, right? They are also known as they are also known as signal boosters, right? They are also known as signal boosters. So how the signals will be regenerated and what is the use of that? Now, first of all, let me describe that types of repeaters. So we have two types of repeater, which is the first one is analog repeater, and the second one, which is we have digital repeater, right? So what is the use of this analog, which is, let me describe that. they can only amplify the analog signal. They can only amplify the analog signal, right? If we talk about the digital one, they can only reconstruct a destroyed signal. Now, what is the mean of that? First of all, only amplify the analog signals. Means, suppose that this is your network, this is your one organization, and this is your the another organization, right? And in between that, this is the range of that we have 20 kilometers, right? Now, the this organization is suppose that inside the Delhi, and this one is inside the suppose that Noida, right? So suppose that that has just 20 kilometers of the range in between that. So the LAN cable having the limited speed, right? Means the LAN, suppose that this LAN cable having the 100 Mbps of the speed. Now, this 100 Mbps, the data, this Delhi location is going to send some data to this Noida location, right? But this will receive that have the limitation that it can receive this 100 Mbps of the data between the 10 kilometers only, right? Suppose that have the 10 kilometers range of this thing, the sending of the data of the 100 Mbps, right? Now, this is going to send the data, but after the 10 kilometers, this data speed is going to weak, right? So where we can use this analog, the analog repeater, we can use before the 10 kilometers, right? Suppose that 9.5 kilometers, we are using this analog repeater, and this will continually boost up your signals to constantly to receive to send the 100 Mbps of the data line, right? So this will boost up your sending signal strength, and that will continuously send the data of the 100 Mbps of the speed, right? So that will cover the 20 kilometers range of that, and that will receive on that Noida location. Now, what is the use of this digital meter? We are also going to take the same scenario for that, right? Let me take it. This is the Delhi location, and that is the Noida location, right? Now, this is the range of that which is we have 20 kilometers, right? Now, this is again going to send the data of the 100 Mbps of the speed, right? Now, this is going to send the 100 Mbps of the speed of data, but that have the limitation speed that can send the only 10 kilometers only, right? But after the 10 kilometers, this 100 Mbps data speed is going to very big, right? Means after completing the 10 kilometers of the range, this the data transfer speed is going to slow. Suppose that it receive on the 12 kilometers, and over on this 10 kilometers, what will be the my data speed to send that, which is 50 Mbps. Suppose that, right? So over there we can use this digital repeater to boost up the destroyed signal, right? Means over the 10 kilometers we are using this repeater, and this is going to boost up the signals, which is the destroyed signal, right? Means it will boost up the network to the 100 kilometer, 100 Mbps, right? Just write it down these things first, guys.